Hello, Professor Gibbs here. Been meeting with students over the last couple of days during my office hours about the project and felt that might be useful to talk about applying the different experience design tools for your project because there was some concern with how to do different things. So I thought I'd create a short video to send out because we're not going to be able to meet in class. So first off, service design tools that you learned, we've introduced sort of 3 of them through the class: customer profiles, customer insights, customer journeys, and we've also done best practices. And a lot of this goes back to reading number 3, if you recall, from the service design for business reading from Reason, Leverhans, and Flew. So the first tool that we were introduced to was the first assignment, was customer profiles and insights. And this, when you do this, this tool is used to really kind of humanize the presentation, keep you focused on real people, and help you identify your core target market for your idea and who you're trying to, who your idea is pitched at. And the second thing you did was, second tool that we used in class was best practices. And this is where you learn from other businesses. They could be museums, which was your assignment, but they could also not be museums. You could get your best practices and ideas from ideas and insights outside of the museum community as well. And the third tool we had a chance to use in practice was the customer journeys. And this was the one that probably took the greatest amount of time because you did a lot of data analysis, but it allows you to see sort of the experience that millennials had, or the class had, your classmates had, while they visited the museum. It really gets granular, and it's really used to inform the redesign of existing experiences, is how a lot of organizations use them, or in your case, potentially you're going to use it for the design of new experiences. So the question is, how do you use the tools to innovate and pitch new ideas? I'm going to walk you through a scenario, and the scenario I've created is, the new idea I've come up with is to use an event to attract millennials to the museum. Not rocket science here. I'm sure some of you are all pitching a similar idea, so I'm not really speaking out of turn and sharing anybody's ideas, but your best practices would have easily identified this. So I want to pitch an idea to attract millennials. You know, what I want to do is I want to talk about who the target is that I'm trying to attract, and why. So the tool that helps me here is the customer profile and customer insights that identifies who my target is, and not only just sort of the insights, but the insights are deeper. You could do some research into how millennials attend museums, stuff like that. And the other tool that you use here is best practice from the Art Gallery of Ontario and others. This helps you answer why an event, and go from there. And then, to answer the questions of what, where, when, and how, in other words, the execution of the event, the details and the specifics that make the event come alive, that's where you're going to use your customer journey map primarily. You may also use profiles and insights, and you may also use best practices here, but this is where you use your customer journey map. So, here's the idea. I'm going to use an event to attract millennials. The event is, AgaCon Friday nights, and I'm going to do it once a month. The target and why, my target is, my profile is millennial, university aged, and I want to share some insights about them that I've learned in different processes. I'm going to then, discuss the best practices that informed my idea and highlight why I chose an event strategy. And I'm going to use the evidence for this. I'm going to look to the AgaCon or the AGO Friday Night Lives as an example. And I think it's important to note that depending on your idea, you could have a different customer profile for each idea. So you may want to target university-age millennials, you may want to teach mid-30s millennials. It's up to you what the idea is, but I could use a different customer profile for a different idea. So now that I've got my idea, I've identified my target market, my profile of my customer, I have used the other research. I want to get into the what, where, when, and how of the idea. And really then, this is where things like the customer journey map can come into effect. And when you use your customer journey map at this pitch stage, you don't need to talk about every one of the 15 touch points. You could literally talk to the 2 or 3 that are most relevant to your idea or most relevant to the objective that will basically provide you credibility and evidence to support the execution of your idea. You're hosting an event as an example, and in the event, the customer journey map identified that transportation is an issue. So you may want to do shuttle buses from the subway. You're also hosting an event, and your analysis of the favorite attractions in the exhibits were 2 or 3 different things, like the flying carpet and the fountain. Well, maybe those are things you want to highlight and to add value to the event. So I think it's important that you communicate the different details and elements of the event, and when designing the experiences, the little things make the difference, right? So what's going to make your event better than somebody else that's going to propose an event? Because I'm going to guess that majority of you are having some sort of your 2 to 4 ideas have some sort of an event in mind. And depending on your idea, you may use different evidence to support your idea. So the next idea may be something different, and you may use different evidence other than transportation in your favorite thing in the exhibits. So, let's just say I've got to do 2 to 4 events. I come up with another idea, and I'm going to host Lego building nights. I'm going to say, that it's targeted at this type of millennial. I'm going to use Y in events. Maybe I found this somewhere else in a best practice of museums, or I read an article about Lego building is a lot of fun. And then I'm going to give you all the details of the Lego building, and I'm going to use things from the customer journey or the profiles to inform that. And you just repeat and present another idea. So using this storytelling technique, you are basically doing a number of things. You're sharing the idea to the student, or the client, that is. You're sharing the who it's targeted at, so basically the target market. Then you're also sharing the why of the event and sharing the evidence for why. And you're then going into some details about the event and the executional elements that you've got. So I just want to make sure that we're on the same page here. I've put a big warning on use of tools is not meant to copy and paste. So I share this information with you, not that there is only one way to do what you're doing. This is one approach to it. You can choose to do your pitch in any other way that you choose. This is just one way to do it, and it doesn't need to absolutely match and mirror exactly what I've put in here. It's just to give you a starting point. At the end of the day, I just want you to remember the objective of the project. What can the AgriCon Museum do to attract millennials to visit the museum's galleries, exhibitions, and attend its performing arts and education program? I hope this little short video has helped, and look forward to seeing your projects on Monday night. It's always one of my favorite things. Have a good day. No way.